Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Today we are going to deploy a smart contract. We are actually going to expand upon our NFT bootcamp video. So if you haven't, you can check that. But you don't really need to be able to follow this video. So the thing that we have is a HardHat project up and running already and a valid smart contract. So before deploying, our first step would be creating a smart contract and compiling it. I already have compiled mine, so it will say nothing to compile. If you haven't compiled yours, it will compile the smart contract, it will create the artifacts and the cache folders, and it will add the contracts that we need, or that HardHat needs. So when you have that, we can close the smart contract and we can go to our config file. There are a few things here. First, at the top, you can see that I have required Nomic Labs HardHat ethers. This is something that we will use to deploy the smart contract. You can install it using this command. You can also find it in the HardHat documentation itself. I also use .env, which is an environment variable library for Node.js. I have done this so I can hide my private keys for this video. You can also use it yourself if you want. It's very easy to do, but you don't have to. Just keep that in mind. So, when you have those things set up and installed, if you want to use them, we need to add a new network. And we can, for ease of use, also add it to our default network, or add it as our default network. So inside our module.exports, we have Solidity, which is this. And after that, we can set default network and our networks. I only use one network, so in my case, Rinkeby, but that can be any EVM network. The only thing, two things that we need is an Ethereum node. In my case, again, a Rinkeby node. I use Infura. They have a free plan available, which is easy for people who want to just mess around a bit and deploy some simple smart contracts. Just get the URL from your project on Infura and be sure that it has the API key at the end of it. You can just copy the whole link from Infura itself. After we have set the URL for the Rinkeby network, or for the network that you want to add, you also need to add accounts, which is an array of accounts or Ethereum addresses. We only need one, so I only have a single private key added here. This needs to be the private key, so not the 12-word mnemonic, just a private key, and be sure to prepend it with 0x to signify that it's a hexadecimal value. So it would be something like 0x plus your actual private key. I've already added that in my environment variables, so I don't have to add it right here. Alright, so when you have added a network, you can set it as a default network, which just reduces the amount of things that we need to write whenever we want to actually deploy the smart contract. So after that, we can create our script, our deployment script. You can create a folder called scripts with a JavaScript file that can have any name. I have called it deploy.js. This is some boilerplate code that is required by HardHat for their scripts. It's very simple. It's a pretty standard thing to do when you're writing scripts that you want to run via the command line. So, okay. Within our main function right here, we will write everything that we need for the smart contract to deploy it. We will actually deploy it right here. So let's get started. let just create a variable with any name, it doesn't really matter. Hello. I don't know why. No thanks. Ethers dot. We need to get the smart contract, which we can get with get contract factory. My smart contract is called my token, which is this right here. It's not the file name, it's this name. So we get our smart contract. Then it's pretty typical to have a lowercase variable for this. We can deploy it. So we do uppercase NFT dot deploy. If your smart contract has any parameters in its constructor, so right here, then you can add them right between these brackets. So I'll just write a comment with params for anyone who is not listening maybe. This is where your constructor variables go. After this, we can deploy it. So nft.deployed, or we have deployed it. We want to wait for it to be deployed. And after that, it's pretty handy to just write to the console to which address it's been deployed to. So deployed to the lowercase nft dot address. Okay, so what are we doing here? We get the smart contract by using the hre.ethers, which we get from HardHat ethers right here. So it's pretty useful to install it. After that, we deploy it to another variable. We wait for it to be deployed. And when it is, we log to the console to which address it is deployed. So we can check that on Etherscan. So let's run it. Scripts / deploy.js. If you have another network and you want to use that network instead of your default one, you can say -- network and then the network name. I don't have to add it since I only have one and have set it to the default one. So, sorry for the honk. Now we can just wait for it to deploy. It will take a while. Also remember that you need to have the address that you have set the private key from. It needs to be filled with the proper token to actually deploy from. So we have our address. Let's go to Rinkeby Etherscan. Let's set that address as the address from the URL or in the URL. So one is beeping pretty loud right here. But as you can see, it is deployed. We don't have any entries because we haven't done anything with the smart contract yet, but it is deployed. So this is it. This is how you deploy a smart contract. Again, the parameters right here. The network right here. Your account needs to be filled with, in my case, Ether on the Rinkeby testnet. It could be on the Gurley testnet. It can be Matic for the Polygon testnet. Keep that in mind. You can get that from faucets. You can Google about how to do that. It changes constantly. So I cannot really give any info on that in this video. But thanks for watching. I hope this has helped a few people at least. Give a like if you've liked it. And let me know if you want to know any other things in the comments. And I will try to make videos about it. Have a good day. Bye bye.